If I had a euro for every time I'm asked the question, what's the best school in Madrid? I'd be one rich lady. The honest answer is, there isn't one. And this is important to know when choosing the school for your child in Madrid. I'm Sinead Galvin, founder of Steps into Spain. I'm an education consultant, and since starting my business in 20, I've helped hundreds of families find the right school for their child in Madrid. So let's begin with the question. We all begin with the same premises for our children. We all want our children to be happy. We all want our children to feel supported. We all want our children to find their tribe, to find their friends at school. This is a basic, okay? But then when we get on to the next step, the best school can mean very different things to different families. Some families put a lot of emphasis on academic results. That's what's best for them in a school. And yes, this can be an important factor, but then there's different things to consider when you're thinking about the academic results. Quite often, especially in private schools, they can be selective. So really the cohort that they have that are graduating are excellent students and would do well in any school. And of course, their academic results therefore are going to be very favorable towards that school. Or in other instances, in some private schools, students that need additional support or are struggling at school, they're kindly asked to leave the school. In a very indirect way, but so the academic results, yes, it is a factor when choosing the school, but it's important to keep the other caveats in mind. The next one, additional support. If your child needs additional support at school, this is going to be one of the most important things for you when you're choosing the school, and that's what will be best for you. Other families won't have that same consideration. For other families, for sports mad children or children that probably are almost on professional level, sports facilities are really important for that family. A school that has amazing sports facilities will obviously really suit that child. A child that has no interest whatsoever in sports will not want that school. And the idea that they can do 7 or 8 hours of sports per week in that school will be something that will be their worst nightmare. Another important factor is, if you're a family relocating to Spain, your needs are very different to a family who have grown up here and all of their family are living here in Madrid. Simply, your needs are different. Firstly, there's additional language support. If your child does not need Spanish, then one of the most important things for you when you're choosing a school is that the school will support your child and that the school has experience supporting non-Spanish speaking children. I promise you, not all schools have this experience. Another important point is if you're new to the school, you're new to the city, you're new to the country, well, you need to make friends, both the child and the parents. So if the school has an active parents community that does different events for new parents that have really recently located, that's an important point when you're choosing the school. And of course, that your child is integrated into the school, that the school has a strong buddy system, not something that's like, they'll have a friend for like 2 days and then that's it. No. You need a strong buddy system. They need somebody that will almost take them under their wing, introduce them to the other kids, and explain how the things work at the school. And of course, you would also appreciate as a parent if you get regular updates from the school about your child. These are important factors for a family who's relocated. Obviously, a family who's already living here, a family who knows the language, a family who knows has lots of different friends, and might even be that their parents went to that school. It's different. They simply don't have they don't have the same needs. So what's best for that family are very different to what's best for your family. Another important point for families, a big consideration, is the commute. A lot of families favor a local neighborhood school, and that's simply because they can walk to school. And that means all those play dates and all the going to the playground after school, it's all very simple because it's all within your neighborhood. I, for example, have done something different with my children. And my goodness, I love my children's school, but I really wish it was a neighborhood school. And unfortunately, it is not. For other families, they really don't mind the commute. They're willing to live in one area and that their children will commute to the school if it's the right school for that family. It really depends on the family. But there is a watch out. And I say this all of the time. What might seem like a reasonable commute, that is maybe 40, 50 minutes in the morning time, usually will be a lot longer. Madrid at morning time to get to school is pretty awful, okay? Traffic is pretty awful. On the way home, it won't be as bad, but in the morning it will. And I've seen this time and time again. What might seem great the first day, the first couple of days, maybe even getting into the first week, after week 3 or week 4, and as the weather starts to change, it's not as attractive and can really be a turn off of that school. So it's important to bear in mind that commute. So for some families, commute is not a problem, and for other families, what they really want is a neighborhood school. So this brings me to the point. What is the best school in Madrid? This is a really personal question. And it's not that there's a one size fits all. It usually depends on what we as a family, what's important for us, what's our priorities for our child. So what's important for us when we're choosing a school is that we know our priorities. What is it that will be really important for our child? Another important point is, how is it that your child, what are they like as a student? Are they a very good student, a very strong student? Are they a student that needs a little bit of extra support? Are they a student that is quite autonomous and will be able to manage their study workload themselves? Or a student that needs a bit of guidance from their teacher? This is important when you're thinking about what's the curriculum for your child. I mean, I can even see this, my own 3 children. One is very different they're all very different. They all study in different ways. They all have different learning needs. And what works for one might not work for your other child. I've seen this many times. When families visit the schools, a lot of the time one family can love the school, another family can absolutely hate the school. Or another important point, when families are actually attending the school, they can all have very different experiences. And why is that? It's because their child, it's something that's very personal. If your child is happy, if your child is thriving, for you, that is the best school for your child. And obviously, if your child is really unhappy, they are really struggling at school, for you, this is the worst school that could possibly be for your child. So saying the best school, inverted commas, is something that is very personal, and it depends on what is the best school, what is the best fit for your child, rather than a generic, what's the best school, what's got the best marketing, what's the one that comes out in the top rankings. Because again, this is another important point. Here in Spain, it's very difficult to find school rankings that's not sponsored by some of the schools or by some of the big companies. So take those rankings as a good way to start your school search, but maybe not the main reason why you would choose the school. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Stick with my channel for more videos like this. And of course, if you need help in your school search here in Madrid, do get in touch.